Did you hear what Lewis Hamilton told Max Verstappen after Esteban Ocon crash? Verstappen and Ocon collided on lap 44 at Interlagos after the Frenchman tried to unlap himself. Ocon, one lap down on the Dutchman and the back marker, went wheel-to-wheel with the race leader before he crashed into the right rear of Verstappen's Red Bull through the Senna S's, sending him into a race-losing spin. The collision handed the lead and eventual race victory to Mercedes man Hamilton. Verstappen was furious with Ocon and staggeringly, the Dutchman was filmed pushing the Force India driver in the weighing area after the race. But Hamilton, who bagged his 10th win of the season as a result of the incident, appeared to defend Ocon. As Hamilton, Verstappen and third place Kimi Räikkönen gathered in the green room before the podium ceremony, the Ferrari driver asked the Dutchman what happened to him during the race. Verstappen, still visibly furious, told Räikkönen that Ocon had taken him out. However, while discussing the incident with the Red Bull driver, Hamilton told Verstappen that Ocon had the right to unlap himself. Verstappen agreed, yet added, "But you can't crash into the leader, who's not doing anything crazy." Hamilton responded with, "You had more to lose than he did." He had nothing to lose. Interestingly, Verstappen was briefly lost for words at Hamilton's view. Ocon was handed a 10-second stop-go penalty during the race as a result of the incident. Verstappen meanwhile was sentenced to 2 days of community service by the FIA after being found guilty of starting an altercation, pushing or hitting Ocon forcefully several times in the chest, and failing to act as a role model to drivers of all levels. He must now serve 2 days of work of public interest at the FIA's request within the next 6 months. Max Verstappen, F1 legend blasts Esteban Ocon over Brazilian Grand Prix crash. Verstappen had been leading the race after storming through the field in his Red Bull and overtaking. But on lap 44, Verstappen attempted to overtake Ocon's Force India and the two collided into turn 1. Verstappen spun and lost first place to Hamilton and ultimately finished just over a second behind the world champion. Verstappen physically confronted Ocon, pushing him several times in the FIA weighing room and was later punished by stewards with 2 days of public service. But Villeneuve believes Ocon deserves all the blame for the incident and accused him of failing to take responsibility. "Ocon is an embarrassment," he told. "And the worst bit is everyone has seen what happened, and on the radio not even a 'sorry guys, I was wrong.' It's good to accept you're wrong. You can unlap yourself, but do it properly. You're not allowed to put the leader at risk at all. You don't do something that loses time for the other driver, and is taking a risk." Overtaking on the straight and you're in front is fine. But that looked like it was a battle for the lead. But also it shows he has no racecraft, zero racecraft whatsoever. All the incidents in the last 2 years where maybe it's his fault, maybe it's not, you can kind of think that maybe he was in the wrong, because he hasn't read the race properly. And he never learns, because it's never his fault, ever. After the race, Ocon defended himself against criticism. He said, "It's disappointing not to score when we had good pace. I had made some good overtakes throughout the race, but it all came to nothing after the contact with Max. He came out of the pits, I stayed behind him for nearly 2 laps but I was much faster than him and the team advised me to physically myself. I went on the outside at turn 1, the same move I made on Fernando Alonso, and on many others before, but Max didn't give me any space. Once I was beside him I couldn't just disappear, so we collided. But it was my corner and I had the right to space.